Hi YouTube, I have something interesting here today. The Seiko Kinetic Tuna GMT sun065j1. Obviously Kinetic Tuna means it has a so-called 5M85 movement, which has an oscillating weight inside it that moves similar to an automatic movement, but it actually charges a lithium battery and has more or less quartz-like precision and 6 months of power if it is fully charged. So that is quite an interesting concept, to have not a solar charged system as the Eco Drive and the Citizen, but here we have a movement that is charged by physical activity. So what I can tell you is that it does not charge in a watch winding system. It requires more aggressive movement for it to be charged. So you need some vigorous activity. You either shake it in your hand for 10-15 minutes to build up the charge, or if you have it fully charged, then I guess it's easier to sustain the charge. If you use it on a daily basis, no issues at all. If you have it on rotation or you collect watches and you keep it in a drawer for a longer time, then it gets quite tedious, especially if you have maybe more than one of these kinetic systems. You're always chasing the charge. So it's basically like a tracker to ensure that you get your daily walks while wearing this watch. It's a big watch. It has 47.5 millimeter diameter, around about 14 millimeter thickness. So yeah, it has really some impressive wrist presence, and from the appearance, it simply looks like a really serious tool diver when you're wearing it, and obviously it's more about perfect function here. It has a GMT function, means a second time zone, which is as you can see on the dial, the red hour hand, the red outlined hour hand will be for the GMT time zone. The inner ring, which goes from basically 0 to 2400, and is an interesting function. Not something that I use a lot, but it's okay. This color is the PADI color, blue, white, and red. As we've seen many models coming out. It really works well on this watch. It's a very nice color combination. We can see the hour markers. They have this kind of 3D, really vivid appearance, which is very nice. It gives it a really deep look. I mean, the watch is 14 millimeters thick, but if you look how deep it is, there can't be much space for the movement in there. Most of it is just taken up by the depth of this watch. We have a 120 click rotating bezel, unidirectional, which works perfectly. Has this Seiko feel to it, not too mushy, slight resistance, subdued clicking, and what really is or really adds to this watch is the Sapphire Crystal, which we wouldn't necessarily expect on this. You could maybe expect a hard legs, but actually it's a sapphire crystal, flat sapphire crystal, and as you can see, it is actually recessed below the bezel. That means really good scratch protection. Interesting, it's called the Kinetic Tuna. If you look at this shroud it has, yeah, reminiscent of the tuna, although it's not really like the tuna. Tuna is more, yeah, the sides are more straight perpendicular. This is really hugging the bezel, but it's also known as the Kinetic Tuna because it is reminiscent. Interesting, if you look at it from the side, it's this skeletonized shroud, and it has kind of like a coated in a case in blue aluminium. Oh no, it's not aluminium, it's stainless steel, but coated somehow, and it has a look like an anodized aluminium, but I assume this is some kind of PVD coating or something. So very nice look to it. The rest of the surface is brushed, nice finish there, nice brushing, and of course we have the bolts holding the shroud to the case. So it's an assembled watch consisting of, you know, separate pieces, and gives it this high protection of the bezel. The opening, yeah, it doesn't make it that easy to turn, but if you know where the opening is, then very easy to operate. We have a date window, which interesting is at the 4:30 o'clock position, which yeah, actually has a nice look to it. Keeps the watch symmetrical at the 3 o'clock position, and just a small date window. It's good enough to see the date, but yeah, quite subdued. Lumibrite, of course, applied to the hands and the hour markers, so very strong luminescence. That is as we expect from a Seiko. Screw down case back, also interesting. Polished case back, looks really good, and also that blue color there, and sapphire crystal, the 8M or the 5M85 movement denomination there. So really nice, the tsunami wave. Also interesting is on the screw down crown and unsigned crown is this red colored ring, which is really nice. Once you if you open the watch, basically you can see whether you've unscrewed it or not. So that's a very nice indicator. Once you open it, you can see the red ring, and then you know exactly, okay, I forgot to screw it. Nice visual system there. Okay, I guess that's more or less yeah, the interesting parts of this watch. Of course, it comes on a silicon strap, a good Seiko silicon strap with some metal keeper buckle. So no complaints about that. Really wears very nice on the wrist. All right, guys, that's it. Bye.